Hey guys, it's Chris Daniel here, the PMP guru, and I want to talk about a sticky subject today, one that people don't like to talk about, but I'm going to address it head on. What happens if you fail the PMP? All right, what happens when you fail this exam? Now, in full transparency, not every single one of my students passed. I got about a 97% pass rate, and every now and then, one or two might slide through and not be successful on the first try. Just got to be honest. No other instructor, they'll tell you this, and I'm just going to be honest. Look, here's the thing. I got a really high percentage, but every now and then somebody slips through the cracks. So what happens when people slip through the cracks? What do we do? How do we rebound? How do we face that exam again? That's a big question. The big thing is this. Let me tell you what failure is not, okay? Failing the PMP exam is not fatal, all right? And it's not final, all right? So it's a one-time or a two-time event. Some of you for a three-time event. I've talked to some people in other boot camps who they failed it three times, or they tried to study on their own and they failed it three times and they've given up. But I tell everyone, once you have it, no one cares how many times you failed it. Once you have the degree, no one cares how long it took you to graduate. All right. Once you have the master's or the PhD or the PMP, even no one cares about how many attempts you had as long as you have it. Right. So that's number one. Number two, failure is not sticky. It doesn't stick to your forehead like the card or to your skin so everyone can see. It's just here. It's mental. It's you. All right. It's you. You're walking around with the guilt or the shame or whatever it is you feel. And I got to be honest with you, we got to get over that ego, all right? We got to get past it because if the goal is to get your PMP, to raise your salary, to move your family, let's begin with the end in mind. Let's begin again with the end in mind, all right? So we got to know those things about it. And truthfully, it means we have to make an adjustment. All right, we probably got to make several adjustments, right? But if you weren't successful with the PMP, it just means you got to make a couple of adjustments, right? So let me give you what the four adjustments are, all right? The four things you need to do if you fail the PMP exam to rebound and go past it the second time. Okay, here we go. Number one, take a week off. Yep, take a week off. Well, Chris, what do you mean take a week off? I mean take a solid week off, but not just a lounge or snooze. I want you to take a week off studying, and I want you to find a study group to get in. All right? Take a week off to find a good PMP study group. You can search online. You can go through your network of peers. You might want to attend a couple of PMI meetings and ask around, but I'm telling you, you got to take a week off, and it'll be good to rest your mind and get away from it. But during that week, find a good study group, all right? Thing number two you need to do is you need to get in a study regimen. And I'm not talking about a makeshift study regimen. I'm talking about a real study regimen that's documented, that guides you on a path where you're studying X number of days for X number of weeks for X number of hours a day, right? You need that regimen. That's the number one thing I hear people say all the time about PMP is that, oh my God, how do I study? I need a regimen, right? So let me give you the secret regimen, right? For about a month, all right, you need to study for about a month, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, all right? 5 days a week, 2 hours a day for about 4 weeks, all right? Let me say it again, 2 hours a day, 5 days a week for about 4 weeks. Guys, that's about 40 hours of studying, right? And if you lock in and you're focused during that time with no distractions, with a group, and you guys are moving through either all the process areas day by day or week by week or however you want to do it, or you're going to move through the knowledge groups, all right? It's up to you. Process groups or knowledge areas is up to you, all right? But you need a good system and a good regimen. Now, I'll tell you where you can find both of those things. All right, number three. The third thing you need to do is I believe in tests, right? So we're taking an exam, and I believe in tests, and I believe you have to qualify to go to the next level. What does that mean? I think you need to take a practice test to get to the next week, right? So what does that mean, Chris? Well, I think after week one, maybe week two, maybe I'll wait till 2 weeks. After week two, you need to take a practice exam. All right, and you need to give yourself a base score. Say on the practice exam, after 2 weeks of studying, you should be at least a 55 or 60%, right? Okay, and then going in maybe to week 3, you take another practice test at the end to qualify to go up, right? And at the end of that one, you need to be at least at a 70, 75%. And then at the end of week 4, your last week, do one more toward the end of that week and make sure you get above 80%. That's the key, right? Now, I know PMI doesn't necessarily go with percentages anymore, but I'm a firm believer. If I can get you above 80% consistently on your practice exams, on some good practice exams, then you'll be okay and you'll be prepared and equipped to pass that PMP exam the next time, all right? So, guys, look, it's just a simple strategy I wanted to offer you guys. For some people, again, studies show that 50% of people who take that PMP exam are unsuccessful on the first try. That's a lot of people, right? Just think. There are over 730,000 PMPs that exist. That's another 730,000 that failed. All right, if we're talking 50%, right? So you got to understand something. There is a strategy, there is a method to this, but you can't get in your feelings. You can't let your ego take over. You just got to look at it for face value. So I told you I had a resource for you. Head over to onechrisdaniel.com. You can find out all about my boot camps. I do about 5 live boot camps a year. I'm getting up to a virtual boot camp, just still doesn't have the same feel. However, guys, stay on the lookout. I'm starting live study groups, right? We're having remote study groups right now, but I'm starting live study groups soon. So stay tuned in. Stay tuned in for the next boot camp, all right? April 3rd through the 7th here in Washington, D.C., right? And then again, May 8th through the 12th here in Washington, D.C. And then I'm off to Atlanta after that. So look, guys, I specialize in boutique boot camps. I hope to see you inside one of them. But if not, go to my website, onechrisdaniel.com. That's O-N-E, chrisdaniel.com. All one word. You can find out everything you need to find there. And guys, we're going to keep advancing, keep getting better, and keep certifying PMPs. See you soon.